we're going to be fully prepared when we go to Washington. And I think it's going to be a great game, and the best team will come out on top.
This is, the reason why you come to Nebraska, for these big games, playing in national championship games, Big 12 championship games, Nebraska versus Washington. We're going up to Seattle with the plan to win.
Despite the fact that it was just the third game of the season, the Nebraska-Washington clash turned out to be a defining moment of the entire '97 campaign. It was mid-September, and the national championship race was already beginning to take shape. While both teams were ranked in the top 10 at the time, the perception was that the second-ranked Huskies were on the rise and on par with the elite teams in the nation. As it would turn out, the standard of excellence established by Nebraska remains unmatched.
Everybody got to step up today. Let's go.
The game also provided a matchup between two of the nation's most talked about quarterbacks. Washington's Brock Huard, whose talented touch had him at the top of the national passing charts, and NU's Scott Frost, whose physical style personifies Nebraska football. It didn't take long for Scott and his teammates to set the tone for the day. 6 plays into Nebraska's opening drive, Frost authored a storybook beginning to one of his best days as a Husker.
Here's the option by Scott Frost. Breaks a tackle, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. He's going to score!
The pressure for Scott, he must have been a ton lifted off his shoulders. Scott's one of my favorite guys on the team. I know that he can get the job done, and I tell you what, I'm looking forward to great things after this game, after the type of game that he had, and it's going to be exciting to watch him the rest of the year.
Scott wasn't done. In fact, he and the Huskers were just getting warmed up and putting the heat on the Huskies. A Chad Kelsey sack on the next possession highlighted a brilliant defensive stand by the relentless Blackshirts, which pinned UW back at its own 4. After a punt, NU took over the ball and then took over the game. It didn't take long for Frost to make an encore appearance in the end zone, where several thousand Husker fans awaited.
He's to the 20, 15, 10, 5. He dives in and scores!
Yeah, I think it was just meant to be maybe that I happened to run both touchdowns right at the Nebraska fans in that section of the stadium, and it was very gratifying. And to have that much emotion stored up before the game and that much electricity in the air, and to be able to do that, it's something else.
As Nebraska's 14-point first-quarter lead grew to 21-0 midway through the second quarter, so did the nation's respect for the Big Red. The battle between the nation's top rushing team and what was supposed to be the best defense against the run was no contest. The Huskies, who had held 2 previous opponents to a combined -5 yards rushing, saw Amon Green and Joel Makovica each turn in 129-yard days. In all, NU amassed 384 yards on the ground, and the big boys in the Big Red Machine couldn't have been happier.
I don't know that we expected that it would be easy, but we expected to do the things that we did. We expected to blow them off the ball, and so it ended up being easy for us, but I just think we were really well prepared.
It was real special to go out there and play the way we played. There was a lot of doubt about the way the Husker offense or the whole Husker team was going to react to this game in Washington. We knew that we had a great team, and all we had to do was go out there and prove it to everybody else.
The quarterback duel never materialized either. By the second quarter, Huard was long gone due to injury, while Frost was simply on fire. The Wood River native rushed for 97 yards and left no doubt that he was at home as the Husker QB.
It's the first time that I played that well in a really big game other than the Orange Bowl. So, as far as national title implications and things like that, that was a really big game for the entire team. And the whole team just came out and showed that we were ready to play under that kind of pressure in that big game.
Washington, meanwhile, felt anything but at home against NU. Husky Stadium, reputed to be the toughest place to play in all of college football, was flooded with nearly 10,000 red-clad Husker fans who invaded the Dogs' house and turned it into another home away from home.
Almost both end zones were full with Nebraska fans, and that's just a tribute to the fans we have, that they follow us and support us wherever we're at, and they're, I think, some of the greatest fans in the country.